Alright, we got about a minute left in our ad break, so just wait a couple moments and then we'll get started, okay? Actually, I'm gonna use this opportunity to run downstairs, I think, maybe. I'll stay up here. Okay, well, wife walked away. I don't know where she is. That's okay. That's what it is. 10 seconds to go on our ad break. All right, welcome back, everybody. So we're now looking at a replay from Backwards Logic, and he has submitted a replay in the Moltke. Now, the Moltke is a Tier 4 German battleship. If I remember right, this is actually not the original battleship line. This is the... No, it is the original. Yeah, right, because the split comes later. Now, Tier 4, she's a fun but annoying battleship to play. She's got a very weird armor
I thought
layout.
that was the new specs. Hang on, let me double check. But I think there's a different ship at Tier 3 and 4.
Okay. Kaiser at Tier 4, yeah. So the reason I said that is because the turret layout is similar to that of the Kaiser. Okay, that's probably what it is. I'll explain in a little bit when we get into it. So I actually haven't played the Moltke that much, so I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out. So let's take a look at how Backwards has set up his ship. He's got main armaments mod and damage control. And I'm going to assume it's a standard captain. Why would you put loot yens on a Tier 4? Running preventative maintenance, grease the gears, basic survivability, concealment, adrenaline rush, and emergency repair specialist. Now, Backwards said this is his first game in a long time. He took a break from the game, and here's where he's at. One thing I don't know what 1-point skill he'd want, really. I guess it's nice to buff anti-air just because Tier 4 you could run into carriers. This ensures your anti-air lives longer. Alternately, he could go for repair party damage control. A lot of skill points on a Tier 4, this is true. But Backwards, like I said, he took a break and he came back. And he's even running full flags. Look at this. Fire extinguishing, both fire chance flags, flooding recovery, HP repair, speed, secondaries, and consumables. It's interesting to see that because I feel like if he's going to run full secondaries, he should be running at the very least long range secondary battery. But okay. Feels terrible. What? Well, let's get into the game. And this is what I was talking about. If you look at the turrets, the lineup for the turrets here, you've got basically this one turret that can fire almost forward and to the right, and then this rear one that can fire off to the side. Now, if you go full broadside like this, both of these middle waist turrets can fire. But it's kind of a trap because it encourages you to go full broadside and where you can take maximum AP penetration damage and stuff. So let's see what it's a vintage hull design, absolutely. Let's see what Backwards chooses to do with this ship. This is Archipelago, and you are top tier. There is a carrier involved, so your preventative maintenance might come in handy to keep your anti-air guns up and running. All right. They hadn't figured out super firing turrets yet, and the coal-fired boilers took up too much room amidship to place everything on the center line. Thank you, Chase. And thank you, Honey.
Gegnerisches Schlachtschiff entdeckt. Gegnerischen Kreuzer gesichtet. Gegnerischen Zerstörer entdeckt. Concentrate fire on that enemy warship.
Okay. So you can see now with the turret layout right now, he's ready to go with both turrets. Now this is a random battle, but you can see there are bots, because that's what happens at the lower tiers now, is bots are created. Super firing turrets way more and are higher up, making stability worse. That is exactly correct, yes. Thank you, Vladashi, for adding that. Now you didn't priority sector. I would have liked to have seen you do that. One, you do burst damage automatically to the planes, and then second, of course, you are able to get a little bit of extra damage in to those planes. Are you gonna completely destroy that that squadron? Of course not. Of course not. Danae going broadside to you. This could be fun. Citadel. USN usually for once got a step on everyone with the South Carolinas because they were super firing, right? And then well, yeah, so the British and the Germans often looked at what Americans were doing and didn't think that they were doing it right, frankly. For better or for worse, that's just the situation, so. Ooh, Danae, you're out-turning your turrets. That's one of the hard things about a ship like this. Unless you go like hard turret reverse, it's really difficult for you to set things up properly, right? Blarifon? Hey, City Slop. Alright. In theory, you should be able to smack this Blarifon, but you're turning a lot. I would have probably tried to keep my last turret in on this guy and then turned in once you noticed that he was going to target you. I guess it doesn't matter anymore because he took all those torpedoes. There he goes.
Gegnerische Schlachtschiff versenkt.
USN was, for all intents and purposes, during the early 1900s, a new service. Well, right, that's kind of what I was trying to get at. A lot of the European navies, especially, didn't really take too much stock in what the American Navy was doing, because the American Navy at the time was considered a bunch of upstarts. Of course, that all changes by World War II, but even up until World War II, really, it was still not that much of a... people didn't really pay much attention to what the Americans were doing. You look at Bellerophon, Dreadnought, Nassau, Indefatigable. Bull in game. Yes, exactly right. They are all trying to get around their coal-fired boilers. Yes. Nice dodge. Now, is that a human? It is a human that's going after you. Time for some Moltke on Moltke violence. I might slow down here just so that I get my turrets in range. That's exactly what you're doing. There you go. Full broadside into the Moltke that's broadside to you, and nice hit. No citadels, but a nice hit though. Yeah, chaser, right. Yeah, I know that the British Navy was by far the biggest for a long time. They also had the largest, like, you know, empire, if you will, right? So it made sense that they needed a large navy to defend it and support it. Dante Alighieri. You're waiting until you can use all your turrets. I might have fired some of them off just to get those off before he fires back at you. I don't know what it is. It's a personal experience, I suppose, but oftentimes, especially at the lower tiers, I find that if you let the enemy player shoot at you first, more likely than not, they manage to knock out one of your turrets, and then you're just sitting there, you know, screaming profanities because you were waiting for that salvo, and then that salvo was taken away from you, essentially. If he's gonna happily sail broadside to you, then you might as well happily penetrate him. There you go. Now it's getting interesting because you're down by a ship. You're the only battleship left in your team. Enemy's got 2 battleships and a cruiser. Now he's turning right now because he's expecting this Dante to shoot at him, and he's expecting AP. Now, backwards, he's got the Kraken tag on him and all that good stuff. But I will say, he doesn't play a lot of World of Warships anymore. So, you know, maybe I wouldn't consider him a seal clubber, even though you're seeing him at tier 4. Oh, Langley Torpedo gets this kill, which actually is really huge for you. You might want a DCP. You've got 2 fires. There you go. You are still down a ship, though, because you just lost your wicks. Rip.
Problem gelöst.
I might want to sit here and just cap. I don't think you need to worry about anything else for a while. Just get the cap. Be happy with the cap, right? You're gonna leave the cap? I don't like this. Get the cap. You're low on points. And I feel like leaving the cap here is a big mistake. We'll do the battle for Stream Raiders after this game's over. So all 3 of the enemies that are remaining are humans. And you can see changing sides like he's doing here. He's got a turret that's not gonna... This guy's turning broadside? Maybe it's the torpedoes? Either way, goodbye. Easy kill. Now you can see the enemy Moltke has entered the cap. What are you waiting for? Feel like there's no need to rate there. I think you could have had a lot more damage if you'd fire right away and then fire the next shells as they came available. Moltke is shooting HE, so that's kind of nice. As long as you don't let yourself get burned down or flooded out, you should be okay. We're keeping this island between the two of you. I think you've recognized the importance of getting this cap. There you go with your priority sector. Your Langley is in a nice position. He's on the other side of the island. He won't be spotted and therefore shot at for quite some time. I might slow down here just to try to get the Moltke as he comes around the corner. Nope, you kept going forward. A nice hit, but not enough. Definitely slow down here. Keep your gun arc on him, especially if he beaches. That's even better for you. Now if he's shooting you, he's gonna get resets. Oof. He's beaching. See, and if you had slowed down, you would have been able to keep shots on him. Now you can't because you're going full speed. Hey, Junkyard Dave. How's it going? This is a replay. So, Junkyard, you're new to the channel. Welcome aboard, my dude. Junkyard Dave is another person that I have found while working for StackUp. Get you a shout out. Oh, you almost killed him. So, we are doing replay reviews right now, Junkyard, which means we are basically looking at somebody else's replay and giving them feedback for how they're playing. So there's Junkyard. If I remember right, I caught you doing, I don't remember if it was Batman, but I know that you are a retro streamer, and you can see that right there. He's actually pretty fun to watch. You got the kill. And turned back the other way. Oh, there's the Rhine. Okay, this can actually work out then. I was going to say, you might have wanted to turn the other direction and go back into the B cap. But then the Rhine appears, so no cap, kill all. But yeah, what's all this? This is World of Warships, my dude. Yeah, he's a retro streamer. In other words, streaming retro games. Games from the 80s, the 90s... Some people consider early 2000s retro. So yeah, Junkyard, I don't remember, because I don't have my work stuff up open right now, but I do remember I reached out to you about doing StackUp, fundraising and all that kind of stuff, and totally wearing a StackUp t-shirt. But yeah. Part of that is creating a link like that. And this is actually for Cursed Gamers, one of the other people that I found. And we're highlighting other people who have... What is this guy doing? We are highlighting other people who have signed up this year with me because I already hit my goal of 3,000, which sponsors 2 supply crates. So I'm pretty happy with that. I could have pushed it, but to me that's greedy. I'd rather get supply crates out to as many people as possible. Oh my god, it's almost like the carriers are gonna slap fight each other in the secondaries. I was just about to mention this, you might actually be better off shooting HE at the Rhine because of how little armored it is. your shells are going through the ship and exploding on the other side.
Das gegnerische Team steht kurz vor dem
It's
Sieg.
one of those cases where flat broadside is not actually ideal.
Problem gelöst.
And you are getting in secondary range, so there's that. Six over pen still, see? You want to get behind him and then shoot directly up his butt. Looks like that's what you're doing. Why 5-0? Let's go. Nice song choice, whoever picked that. Nice hits, still not enough to kill. No citadels. LOL. I might slow down there. Just to get the, you know, next salvo off on him. Junkyard, yes, this is peer versus peer, although there are bots at the lower tiers. This is a lower tier battle. I wouldn't wait for all your guns again. I would just fire. You don't need all your guns to get this kill. You only needed, well, you got 5 overpens to kill him. All. There you go. Well, let's take a look at your post-battle results screens. You had 122,000 damage. A tier 4 is pretty sexy. 4 kills. You came in first place by a good margin. Take a look at your detailed report. You did bad things to the Moltke. You killed the Rhine. You killed the Moltke too. You killed the Aurora. You killed the Bellerophon. Junkyard. If you see somebody with a colon, that's a bot. So yeah, like I said, at the lower tiers, you get bots on both teams to fill it out. Take a look at your credit and XP. And let's take a look at your replay review. You ended up shooting mostly HE with the lower tier German battlecruisers. You hated the AP. It did either nothing or it overpenned. Well, that's kind of what we discovered here, isn't it? So, what could we title this Moltke game? You just got Combat Scout and a Shikishima? Oh my god, Big O.
I don't know.
Means people are shooting at you while you are in front of your teammates, that's all. Quite a bit.
Darn near died for it.
Well, good. Well played indeed, Wolf. What are we going to call this? What are we going to call this replay? You always peg me as a Linkin Park fan. Well, thank you. No one runs faster. I like Linkin Park's. Molten. I like that. I like that. I like their Hybrid Theory album, which is their first album. Pretty much everything in that album is gold. Some of the later stuff that Linkin Park did is not as fun, but it is what it is. Cheers, dude. You agree too? Yeah. So when push came to shove, I think you saw the difference that is a player that knows what they're doing and just, you know, is happening to be playing through a ship. Hybrid Theory might have been the first CD you ever bought. Yeah. Yeah, they got good stuff. So, I mean, I already gave you feedback about a couple of times where you might have been better off slowing down to try to get your shots and stuff. I think you would have been better off if that was the case, but other than that, dude, solid game, solid performance. And then there's that stupid Ryan that you just kept shooting and wouldn't die, wouldn't take damage. Well, Zan, hey, happy belated holidays to you too. How are you doing? Thanks for coming in and hanging out. Very good to see you. Here's experienced newbie, that could work. That's true, Taco Mania tonight. How are you, by the way? All right, let's drop the replay render.